Today's January 3rd, 2013. Today was a pretty standard day with two exceptions. I started off the day right before work calling in and being a guest on the 5 After podcast, which is a podcast that follows the Armstrong&Getty show. It's done by the producers of the Armstrong&Getty show, and it's kind of a recap of the show. But since Armstrong&Getty have been on vacation for Christmas and the New Year, the 5 After crew has been doing their own show. Just kind of I think they've done an hour here and there. So anyways, I was called to be a guest. I frequently correspond with the producers, especially Dominic. He tries to start a lot of fights on Twitter. It's funny because he thinks he gets under my skin, but I have unfortunately been to 04Jan, and nothing he says or will do could ever get under my skin. Anyway, so he called me up and wanted me to be a guest on the show. I said sure. So before I headed to work today, I called in and didn't know what we were going to talk about. I assumed libertarianism because on the Armstrong&Getty show, I earned the nickname Ben the Libertarian because I always have a libertarian viewpoint on things, and I correspond frequently with the hosts. Anyways, so I didn't know whether we're going to talk about libertarianism or of our mutual like for Penn Jillette, or of about gay marriage or religion or whatever. I didn't know. I assumed libertarianism, but whatever. So the interview went okay from my perspective. Like, I did okay. I re-listened to it when I got home. The whole day I spent thinking I had completely flubbed it, but I re-listened to it. I think I did okay. It was kind of disjointed, moving really fast. Didn't really give me a chance to really talk about, like, really explain myself. They just wanted to jump around. The one big mistake I made, I feel so stupid about making it. They gave me a perfect opportunity, a perfect way into talking about the Free State Project, which is something I am really passionate about. When they asked me what were my plans for the next, say, where do I see myself in 15 years? But I got sidetracked because I was leading into it because they asked, are you going to run for office or you do this? And I said, I've already run for office. And I meant to, my intention in my head was to say, I've already run for office, but my plan is to move to New Hampshire. I may run for office there, blah, 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 blah. But derailed, sidetracked, talking about, I don't even know what. It was all over the place. So it went okay. The other big criticism I would give for myself, and I would do this for anyone, especially libertarians, when you're discussing libertarian ideals, right? A lot of people will jump to but what about the roads? And I failed there. People have that, they want roads, and their framework, their mindset, everything they know says government, roads. If there's no government, there's no roads, and I like roads, therefore we need government, at least for roads. So I should have had a better prepared answer for that. I should just have one off the top of my head. Also, the question I mentioned, so what, you don't want government involved in anything? And I don't want government involved in anything. Eventually I'd like to see the government go away, but I shouldn't have jumped into that. I should have slow rolled into that, because that immediately led to them dropping, so you're an anarchist, all that kind of stuff. I should have gone with, I want small government, and when we get to small government, I want smaller government. And when we get there, I want smaller government. And when we get there, I want smaller government. So I should have played it like that. It was a bad choice to just go straight to, in theory, 1,000 years from now, I'd like there to be no government, that kind of thing. Anyways, so didn't mention the Free State Project. I should have had a better elevator pitch. At one point, Dominic gave me 30 seconds. He said, all right, give me your pitch on your worldview. And I should have had an elevator pitch prepared, and it just caught me off guard. So that's how I started my day. Then I went to work. That was standard, nothing exciting there. But on my way home, I did something that makes me feel dirty, but I don't know what else I should have done. I think I might call Free Talk Live tomorrow and see what their thoughts are, how they would have handled it. I was in my car and I saw a lady, and she was standing by like a light post. Nothing really odd past that. But I noticed a man walk up to her and start yelling at her. You know, obviously some sort of domestic dispute, nothing physical. But I thought I would observe for a while, just to see that she was right. I was trying to consider, what am I going to do? How am I going to handle this? I don't carry a gun anymore because the state of California changed their laws, and I don't want to ask for a license to carry a gun. I have no intention of going and getting in a physical altercation with someone. So anyways, I stayed and watched for a while. Then the gentleman, no physical contact, decided to walk away. I thought, okay, good. I stayed there for a few more minutes, playing on my phone. I forget what I was doing exactly. And when all of a sudden I heard him running, because he was kind of pounding on along the road, running back towards her after he had walked away, been away for a good few minutes, ran up to her, grabbed her by the collar, started shaking her and yelling at her some more. And I thought, God, what am I going to do now? So since I couldn't get involved, because I'm not going to get into a physical altercation with someone, and I don't have a gun to protect myself. So I called the police, and I know people, many people would have felt fine calling the police. I don't. Generally, when you call the police, it leads to, I shouldn't say generally, it can lead to making situations worse. But I really felt like I had no other clear choice. I would have loved to have called some kind of private organization. I would have loved to have called some sort of dispute resolution or private security or whatever. Those options are not available to me. So I called those people who have given or have been given a monopoly on the use of force and on dispute resolution. So I called the police. I don't know where it went from there, because as soon as the police showed up, I left. I don't want to be anywhere near the police. And I went home. And so those are the two things that happened to me today. I was a guest on the 5 After podcast, and I'll provide a link in the description to that segment, which I've taken out. And I called the police. Although the gentleman was, at that point in my mind, committing a crime. He was physically assaulting this woman, and so sucks to be him. Anyways, this was my 3rd journaling day.